Are you planning to get married? Do you think you should be doing a prenup, a prenuptial agreement, or marriage contract? I'm attorney Vernita Williams. I'm an estate planning attorney here in South Florida, and sometimes my clients call me up and say, I'm getting married, so I need to protect my assets. I need to talk to you. So then sometimes some of my clients and even some of my friends say, oh, I don't think doing a prenup is a good thing. That means that the people that want to do a prenup don't really trust each other. So I want to talk to you first of all about the purpose of a prenup. The purpose of a prenup is for you to decide what will happen to your assets if you were to pass away or if you were to get a divorce. And then I also emphasize to people that you also have to look at the impact of third parties, as in children and other relatives, on what would happen to your spouse if you were to get divorced or passed away. It's not just how the two of you think about or impact each other, it's other people that are connected to you that also have rights. So let me tell you some of the pros or some of the good things about doing a prenup. Well, first of all, if you have children from a prior relationship, you may be interested in doing a prenup to protect the inheritance rights of the children. For instance, if you have a homestead property that you live in and you get married to a person, that person will then have rights to that property that may interfere with what your children are able to get in the future if you were to pass away. So that's one of the things that you can look at in doing a prenup. What are the ways in which you can protect the rights of children from a prior relationship if you're going to get married? The second thing is you can protect business interests from the spouse in case of divorce. What if you had a business that you've been running 10 years, then all of a sudden you end up getting divorced and the spouse starts saying, well, I've been with you this 10 years and I may not have worked in the business, but I did this, I did that to help you in the business, and I want this percentage of the money that's coming out of the business. Well, a prenup agreement can address those kinds of things. It can protect business interests from the spouse in the event of divorce. The third thing is you can protect one of the spouses who may be debt-free from a spouse who has a lot of debt. Sometimes people get married and they are totally different financially. One person might have a lot of debt, another person might have no debt, and the person with no debt might be thinking, wow, if this relationship doesn't make it, I really don't want to take on all of that. So a prenup agreement can potentially protect a debt-free spouse from the debts of the other spouse. The fourth thing is if a spouse gives up a lucrative career for marriage, then a prenup agreement may say, well, I'm giving up a lucrative career to come and be with you. And if this relationship doesn't work, I don't want you to look at me and say, hey, it didn't work. You need to go your way. You need to just go start over, go start doing what you used to do. Someone wanting to protect themselves, if they're giving up a lucrative career to go and be married, might put together a prenup that says, okay, if this relationship doesn't work, this is what I'm expecting to sustain me in the future. Because after all, I did give up those things to come and be married. The fifth thing is a prenuptial agreement goes beyond finances. There are other agreements that don't relate to money that people have to make in marriage. And depending upon your circumstance, you might decide that a particular spouse is more suited to make decisions in that area. So the prenup is not just financial. You can address other things that are not financial in terms of how you will make agreements. The sixth thing is a prenuptial agreement can limit spousal support in the event of divorce. Let's say you're a person who says, okay, we're getting married, things are good now, I believe we both have good intentions, but I don't want it to be a situation where we're married and then all of a sudden, by virtue of this marriage, you get this huge amount of money per month. You can agree up front that if the relationship doesn't work, that there will be limitations on spousal support. Now, the seventh thing that is I would say one of the pros, one of the good things of getting a prenuptial agreement is it can protect the financial interests of older persons, of people who are entering a second or subsequent marriage, and of persons with substantial wealth. Sometimes, and I've had situations where people weren't really that wealthy, but they had been married before, and they came and said, listen, I was married before, I got a divorce, I ended up losing a lot of my assets, and at this stage of my life, I really can't be losing assets every time I get divorced. Not that they plan to get divorced a lot, but in this day and time, multiple marriages are not uncommon. So a prenuptial agreement can protect the financial interests of people who are going into subsequent marriages or have a lot of wealth, or they just simply don't want to, at that stage, they don't feel like they can just keep working 30 more years because they got a divorce and they had to share what they had earned up to that point with the spouse that was divorcing them. So there are some good things about doing a prenup in that it at least causes you to think about your future and think about some possibilities and have real discussions. Now, this is a video on the pros, the good things about thinking about a prenup, having those discussions. Now, you and I both know that there are some cons, so I'm going to do another video and I'm just going to talk about the downside of doing a prenup agreement. If you would like more information, please call me at 786-831-9483. This is 7 things that are the pros, the good things about doing a prenup agreement. Listen to my other video and I will be candid and honest about the downside of a prenup agreement.